Looks like we're going to need professional medical help. Help.
Love it. I love it. So this is the Front Porch. Oh my God, we're actually on YouTube. Wow. So I know this is going to be a little different for whoever comes in and out. This is like a morning or night talk show. Whenever you're watching this, really, you know Front Porch. You should know this by now. We're on Spaces sometimes, except when we're not. And yeah, this is going to be really interesting because I mean, sometimes we'll have a lot of people coming on. Sometimes we won't. Sometimes it might just even be me. I don't think it'll just be me, but you know how it be. So let's just jump right into it. I mean, we have our wonderful co-host of this Front Porch, the man himself, the Freaknik man. I think he called himself the MILF Hunter, but Kwamani, like, bruh, how you feeling? How you living? In living color.
Whew, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling amazing. Hey, it's about to get crazy on this Front Porch type deal. It is Monday in the afternoon when it's afternoon delight. I was gonna do 9 in the afternoon, but it wouldn't work. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fine. I'm glad to be here. Hopefully, more than likely, I'll be the co-host, co-pilot, the co-man in charge on this endeavor and doing good things, doing smooth things. You know what I'm saying?
I suppose. Yeah.
Be prepared.
Yeah. Oh, be prepared.
Yes.
Yes, you are. Yes.
Be prepared.
My Lord. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is gonna be that show, y'all. This is gonna be that show. What's funny is now that I'm thinking about it, we kind of did this a while back. Period. Lunch break show. Exactly. That's what that's our job. That's what this is about. The Front Porch. You can do anything on the Front Porch. What's up, y'all? What's up?
Yeah.
You can come on the Front Porch. You can speak about the Front Porch. You can screen record the Front Porch as long as you give us that view.
Right. Clip it, make a short out of it.
Yeah, make it short.
Post it to your OnlyFans.
Wait a minute, hold up.
Okay, I guess not post it to your OnlyFans, but
no.
Y'all already know how we get down.
No, we do Patreon over here. Y'all want to see some OF content, you got to pay through Patreon because I don't really trust the business behind OnlyFans at the moment. So
true that.
Sorry, y'all.
They too flip floppy.
Yeah, you can't get the sexy dark side costume. My God, so sorry.
So Patreon is where y'all can really find out how much of a cheap trick I am.
Let me take a drink on that. Let me just take a drink because this is gonna be a long 45 minutes, but in the best way possible. So let's just jump right into it because I mean, I was looking on Twitter, and I got a wonderful little walk down memory lane when I saw a little review, a little thread. Took me back to what, February,
March or February, one of them 2 months.
Yeah. Oh man, now I know what that song "The Scientist" was about, taking me back to the start. Because oh my gosh, that was too much. But in a good way. It was a lot because I'm just like, well, I'm glad to see, one of my mutuals on Twitter say what we were all thinking. But it's just funny how I think it's more accepted today as opposed to a couple months ago, of a lot of the controversies that came about from us saying the same things. Because, and I know for people who have been on the Front Porch, we have talked about this a maximum of 4 times now, but this time this will be on the record. So people don't have to wonder what we say. People don't have to imagine what we say or record. I don't know. They don't have to do that this time. No. This time you can just rewind back to 5 minutes and you can see what we're saying. So let's just get right into it. So this daggum book, man, release a Snyder Cut. The amazing, spectacular, show-stopping, never before seen nonsense that has happened that led to the release of this movie. Through the trials and tribulations and blood, sweat, and tears of a fandom championing their savior, Zachariah Esquire Snyder, against the cold, dark, and hellish company that is Warner Brothers. I just sold the book right there. That's marketing, y'all. That's how you do marketing. We didn't get that. We didn't get that with that. So when I'm reading that thread, really, I can even go a step further and say, starting, I think, a month ago, after we get a lot of comfortable elbow room with the movie's release, like everyone feels like they can talk about this more. They can say what they want. They can be like, I don't like this, I didn't like that. But it's not reviewing, it's not false journalism if we don't get some great reviews. 10 out of 10 stars, 10 out of 5 stars, because this was like the best thing since sliced bread. But obviously it wasn't.
Yeah, it really wasn't. I just want to speak on how much bullshit people put us through for this book that was bullshit and horseshit. But more importantly than that, I would like to speak on how people are pretending like this book being ass is a notion that appeared out of thin air, when no, we told y'all this book was ass. We told y'all this book was ass a long time ago. Very, very, very directly, in fact. And I'm not one for being humble all of the time. I try to be, but most times I try to at least get some sort of satisfaction out of things that I do correctly. And fuck it. I'm going to make it one of these times, because we told y'all, the first people to tell y'all, where people wanted to try to falsely say we broke an NDA and falsely claim we took advantage of something because they wanted to put out their puff piece and get folks to buy this bullshit of a book. Yeah, I think we at MulDiversity, spelled MulDiversity. It's very early in the morning for me, and it's been a pretty rough weekend, so you'll excuse my candor at the moment. But yeah, I'm gonna need some folks to go, yeah, we put y'all on. So what the skinny was, and for the better half of 5 months, y'all just kind of raised your hands and go, we're not going to be a part of that discourse. And then everything we said about both the author and the book in and of itself turned out to be correct. So, while others sided with, was quiet, or continue to side with that whole section of assholes, and as such, that's my immediate 2 cents on it. And to make it even, to hammer it home, let me read y'all something. Let me read y'all something. And this is the outline I wrote down about my personal feelings of the book. And it's not verbatim, because I ended up amending some things to make it more streamlined during the episode. You can go back and watch it. The link will inevitably be in the description below. But this is what I said. This book is the literary equivalent to when Jeff Johns told fans to revise their list in the lead up to Justice League. A hollow statement meant to rob people of their money, to support something that isn't what it's being marketed as. It also doesn't help that they're both scumholes greatly overestimating their writing ability. And yes, that is my direct quote and review about the Restore the Snyderverse book, for those who don't know exactly what we're talking about. And I still stand by that. And not only do I still stand by that, it has become more and more apparent that that was an apropos assessment as the year chugged along. So yes, clip it, quote it, do whatever y'all need to. It's more or less how I felt this whole time. And I'm not gonna say I'm glad that folks are just now catching on to it, because truth be told, y'all should have did that from the jump street, because we was telling y'all the truth. And you know, that's just my immediate 2 cents once again on the whole.
Oh no, Kwamani, now I have to at you. Oh no, I don't at. I subtweet. Let me just subtweet you and put some wonderful shady gifts. You know what? Because you're a black man on top of that. I don't know how, but you just utilized your skin color to attack this book too. So let me just, be really, really, really shady and do a, race car decline gif on top of that. Let's just go there. Let's go there for a second, because
let's please go there for a second.
It was the reaction for me. That's what got me. It was the reaction, because the cojones on these people who just had to say something, who never even thought of us, but
Not
that
at
also
all.
let me know that they were watching us on the low. So, that was cool. But yeah, it was hilarious to me that, these people just came out the woodwork, had to preach for a second, they had to get on their soapbox, had to let us know, man to man, or as the wonderful song "Woman to Woman."
Woo. What team are we on? What team are you on again? As my camera just trucks around.
Shirley,
Team Shirley.
Team Shirley. Now, we don't do Barbara over here. Barbara got to go. But
woman to woman.
Matter of fact, that's what we were dealing with. A lot of Barbaras, basically I got DMs that had that, that hello Barbara, this is Shirley energy, every single time, the subtweets,
yes,
Jesus, it was funny. It's funny in hindsight. Wasn't funny, then, because I was like, well, we gotta let
damn.
know.
It's not. I still have yet to find the comedy in it all. It's just really sad that such a blatant and obvious attempt at capitalizing off of a movement with little to no real effort to actually speak on it authentically was primarily ignored and used as a vehicle so others could progress their own burgeoning streaming, YouTube, and or pseudo journalistic / blogger career, despite this being under the guise of respecting a man and his family and his tragedy, which, by the way, I said this, I was the first to say it, and I will continually say it, regardless of whoever the fuck wants to try to pull out some half-assed excuse as to why it's not the case. But naming a chapter, A Death in the Family, about Autumn's tragedy is bullshit. It's disgusting, and it should never even cross anyone's mind if they're meaning to write this authentically. Straight up. I don't give a damn what anybody says. No one who really cares about this movement and the situation will ever demean that whole ordeal with a goddamn comic book comparison, illusion, whatever the case may be, to describe the similarities or the what's the word for it, Aaron? You're better at the marketing terms than I am. Something to catch.
Bullshittery.
Right.
The bullshittery. Look, I'm going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, but marketing is just bullshitting 101. Okay.
Yes, Mike.
No, it was 100% gaslighting. Oh, speaking of, no, never mind. We're not going there yet. I will say though, Using that gaslight sure did help us say that, that oath, that brightest day, blackest night oath. But we got to get there. We got to work our way there.
Man. Whoo, shit. Oh, man.
That pause. Yep, he knew.
Like,
Y'all will know. Y'all know. Those who know will know my reference, but I love it.
Yeah, it's very much a case of just how far people would go, especially, and make no mistake, y'all. Any big name y'all can think of that has touched any Snyder stuff related to it, they know what we said wasn't a lie. Ironically, the ones who didn't know sat back a day after and did a whole stream about what we talked about without contacting a single one of us to be a part of it, to accurately get any clarifications on what was said and what was meant, even though what we said was very clear, concise, and to the point, but when you're chasing waterfalls, you tend to fall off them, you know what I'm saying? So it's as simple as that. Yes, Steve, we're talking about Sean's book. Don't worry about it. That's what we're talking about it. Aaron, what's the minute say? My shades are pretty dark, so I can't really see my screen.
We good. 16.
Good.
We good.
So basically, it's that whole debacle was just a very clear example of how shitty the pseudo leadership of this fandom is.
What fandom? Let me just chomp on my cigar. Let me chomp. No, that's their.
No, I mean, because that to me is like one of my, not even a regret, really. It's the biggest disappointment that a bunch of people who have no reason to lie was called liars. A bunch of people who've, in their own individual way, have gone up for and done things for the fandom, were painted as toxic, still are. Blacklisted for sure. Absolutely what happened. And just a lot of other things for something that ended up everyone, whether openly or closetedly, said, yeah, this wasn't it. And it's disappointing. Does it bother me? No, because all it does whenever it comes up, it just gives me room to say how fucked up and how stupid people were. And I love doing that. But am I continuously disappointed in it that people chose to just let shit slide because a movie was coming out in a month, so there was no real reason to just harp on this because of bad PR when, spoilers, it still came in other avenues and other ways, and even with that way? I mean, it is what it is. Am I disappointed that people use that opportunity to show their true colors, which they continue to show to this day?
That was it for me. That right there. Yeah, that was too much.
That to me is yeah, indeed, yeah. And absolutely.
We don't do book burnings no more. But it sure did feel like a book burning in February, huh? To MD.
It's ironic, a book burning in February and a burn book created shortly after. From what I'm told.
It's as Elton John would say, it's a little bit funny. All of that, everything that happened right after that, really what the night of, if we be honest, just the constant trolling and attacking, it may seem, just to preface for the audience who will, no doubt be screen recording this for later, you can easily say, get over it and let it go and all this stuff. And, for some people they can, but you think of constant, months of harassment. You think of what that can do to someone psychologically, and to be in a fandom that champions, mental health, You know, that speaks volumes. And just to accommodate, you know, yourselves to, you know, put yourself on a pedestal to try to help, you know, some clout, you know, a possible career, you know, whatever, you know, what have you with that. But it's just like that speaks more volumes, and it reminds me of how they be doing, you know. I don't think they will, Joe, because that's a whole other thing that needs to be unpacked when it comes to Black women saying something. We might have to have you on for that one, but it's like, you know, it just you look at what happened right after, and that little asterisk, you know, that scarlet letter that was just slapped onto the MD logo, and how, you know, everyone treated us, how, you know, the numbers went down unless we got a celebrity that they were looking toward, you know, to come on. Like, we weren't considered the safe, you know, Negroes anymore. We weren't that Black monolith that everyone agrees, you know, we all, you know. But it's like, no, we just said what we thought. And the thing is, if you notice, we only spent about this much time, 21 minutes on the review, and for the rest of the episode we focused on, you know, whatever the topic was. And it's like, all right, and it's like, you know, you look at what happened. You know, it was like everyone just harped onto that and said, from that point on, this is who they are. This is how dangerous they are. They can ruin your career, because the moment
I think that
you know,
to touch on it, saying thankfully Joe's here, because her being here reminded me of it. The crux of our episode was talking about ways to actually support the movie. If I'm not mistaken, that's when
we came up with the big take back.
So we could formally fight against the wave of impending bullshit negative reviews that was going to try to paint this movie as a failure, when we knew that wasn't going to be the case. And we illustrated that, and we started it off. We did that. That was where the crux of our episode was because we said that we were only going to dedicate only about 20 minutes to the review, because it wasn't worth a full-length episode then, because it's a crock of shit, a very inaccurate.
We talked the whole episode about it, though.
Man, it's amazing. You know, with the video with 3K views. You know, it's amazing how
it is with 3K views on MD. That's a whole other episode.
You know, it's amazing. You know, and again, I'm very glad. I'll say this with a smile on my face. As a matter of fact, I will. I am very glad our video stopped people from buying and supporting their book. I'm very proud of that. I am extraordinarily proud that our review woke up every 3-dimensional / 4-dimensional thinking fandom member who knew and smelled the bullshit and went, yeah, no, I'm going to cancel my book, cancel this. And I would also like to shout out everyone who stopped giving Sean a platform after that, and after Ray spoke out on what Sean tried to spin as a falsehood. You know, because they couldn't trust him. I would like to say that as well, because whether you guys understand it now or understood it then, or even understand it at all, y'all did a very, very, very good thing, like a legitimately good thing, because, and I can almost see it now. You'll have people that say, well, you know, how can you know that? But trust me, stopping him speaking on this particular subject, not even going to say about anything else he could talk about, but on this particular subject, yeah, stopping him at the gate as much as possible was an undeniable good.
Speaking of stopping at the gate, let's talk about, yeah, exactly, Steve. Yeah, you're right. Like that is the truth right there.
It did work, and that's something
100% work.
And that's what, again, we're gonna have to talk about that in full another time, because that's a whole.
Even the pushback against that, because I remember there were tweets making fun of that. You know, like that was, oh man, no, there's a lot. Yeah, we have a lot of things to talk about. I actually think that works.
But yes, the take back undeniably worked because it galvanized people. And whether it was a full-on traditional review or a critique on Twitter or what have you, I see a lot of people who started doing that, who really started to getting into that, then do it now with a bunch of unrelated movies that they were looking forward to,
Well,
and
it
standing their ground.
It brought some hope back to, these fans, that they have a voice. Like, once again, I have said this like a billion times in my Twitter spaces. I'm saying it on here. One, MulDiversity stands for this. Fandoms matter, but the consumer is the key. The fans are the key. You're not going to get the kind of success you want if you don't have the fans' support. However that looks. And it's like, you think a bunch of people who only want access to a film set, to get some, money under the table, or to meet, their favorite celebrity and go to dinner with, you think those are going to be the people who are going to help you out? No, they'll give you a good review, but as we've established, and I think those who know that the ones who are at the very top when it comes to making these decisions, they don't care. They don't care about those people. They want to know, where's the money coming from. That's the bottom line. We're still in a capitalist society. That's what they care about. And if you don't have the support, your five people who gave you, 2 thumbs up trying to, play Siskel and Ebert, if they did that and they gave you, like $5 a ticket, you only have $25. That's all. Like, who really won this battle?
It was supposed to have been the fandoms so they can know, but that's debatable now. It shouldn't be. It should be very cut and dry.
But
it's
the engagement. Yeah, it's key.
Like, it's very much not. I don't know. I don't know, because at some point in the past couple of months, I just understood that there are just things that people are not going to care about until they see concrete evidence. And even then, they're going to find a way to spin it or not really address it how it's supposed to be. Apathy. And I mean,
it's apathy.
And it is what it is to a degree, but on the other end of a even higher degree, and I've said this in our latest video we put out last week to a certain degree, and I'm going to reiterate it a little bit more harshly here, but this fandom, the Snyder Cut wasn't for us. It was for Autumn, literally. Like not in just the metaphorical sense. It's the literal sense as well. So Zach and Debbie can try to make sense of what happened and not have anything else tying into that terrible moment in their lives.
Exactly.
We helped them accomplish that. It wasn't him putting out this movie for us. Yeah, he says that, and there is a modicum of truth to it, but the total truth was that this was for Autumn. This is why, again, I don't sit here and I don't critique the CGI or some of the decisions or anything like that in any real metric, because that shit don't matter. If we get a point where Zach comes back and continues his vision, it's more than likely A, not going to be what those storyboards were, and B, regardless if they are and aren't, that's an entirely different sense of looking at it. And I don't think that, and I don't think that people understand that anymore. I don't think that people understand that specifically with this movie, with this whole last 3 years, it's been about 4 years. I'm sorry. It's been about Autumn. It's been about what can we do to finally honor her. And that's what this movie was. The book dishonors her memory because it's dishonest. It's not truthful. It's a bunch of bullshit in a lot more ways than we broke down, and in a lot more ways than we ourselves can articulate. Hopefully one day all of this comes out to the light and we can further add our 2 cents to it, and you guys can judge accordingly. But as it stands, inherently, just on the base knowledge, it was bullshit. The people who continued to support it, the book and the person, in subtle or overt ways, they dishonor her memory too. That's harsh. I don't fucking care. It's the truth. Because if you're going to side with somebody who literally capitalized off of a tragedy to try to get himself in there to write a 3-book trilogy, because make no mistake, this was supposed to be his first book. And it was going to be a second book about how we succeeded in the downfalls and how we let that go to our head. And then the third book would be a overall retrospective. It's simple book author logic, especially when it comes down to the gotcha art authors who don't really want to make an honest book, just an honest book. And by honest book, I mean a dishonest book. Book and buck. I know that kind of sounded, because of my inflection, it sounded like I was saying book twice, but I was saying buck, like dollar.
Well, it's the same difference when it comes to opportunists.
True. It is the same difference when it comes to opportunists. But it's how many fans have become opportunists? You learn from the ones. I mean,
how many of them aren't at this point?
That's
a real question.
That's, I mean, true. Like, that's, I mean, I know people who like say, well, y'all are being opportunists because y'all aren't letting it go. And my response is, call it what you will. But if there's any group of individuals that have every right to keep coming back to a point, it's us.
Yeah. My point,
and, you know,
if people do want to say that, I mean, we're not getting paid for this. So, I mean, you know, that's not, can't really be opportunist on that.
And like, you can be an opportunist when you yelling and like, it's when you speak on something, it's preferable you do it in a area where people can hear you and not where you can get drowned out. So
exactly. And you know, that's why the Front Porch is on YouTube right now, because the message needs to be sent. And I think that's what, with a lot of movements, you know, a lot of failure of movements, you can go all the way back to the 60s too, but I'm not getting too deep in that. But you can look at the fact that the original message got lost, you know, in you know, the bigger, you know, the hype and the need and want to be, you know, seen. And it's like, you know, it's you run the risk on this very fine line when you're trying to be seen to send a message that's positive, you know, especially, you know, and it's, you know, questionable what's positive and negative for people, but, you know, for the masses, it's positive. And then, you know, when you get that, just that little taste of exposure, you know, it leads to something usually not for the best, because you don't have anybody, you know, to keep you humble. And when you look at the success of certain movements throughout the world versus the non-successful ones, the latter usually happen because of clout chasing, because of, you know, fame hunger, because of all this crap. Okay, like it's getting old. I'm tired of it. I know Q's tired. I know, hell, all of us are tired of it. But it's like, you have to talk about this stuff, because if not, it's going to be lost. And as we've established, especially in America, the victors are the ones who write the history books.
Yep. And it just so happened that Sean sucks at writing, so it couldn't have been him for the most part. Would I have preferred it happened sooner? Yes. But unfortunately, when you're dealing with,
that's my quote right there. That's my quote right there.
When you're dealing with slow to learn individuals, and I'm not talking about the fandom, but I'm talking about some of the people who try to speak for and to, that oftentimes stops the process. But thankfully, y'all finally start seeing the clouds from the smog, so y'all know what to look for now. But in the end, or really at the beginning, because we're still not all the way through it, as I've mentioned it before, it just comes down to just calling the bullshit out. And if things are true, it'll withstand it. And if it's not, then
it gets exposed on Twitter. You know, if it's not true, it gets exposed on Twitter. after someone does a this you, you know, like somebody does with those very incredibly fake reveals, you know, of tea and stuff that they have. But that's another episode. You know, we have a lot of things to go through. This is what's funny is Front Porch started as essentially therapy for MD for us to finally vent and talk about, you know, the things, but like
we still are, trust and believe.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know.
this is a prime example of it.
Right. Well, it's just you like nobody, you know, only a couple of, you know, streamers and reviewers want to actually have these kind of talks. You know, everybody else is playing it incredibly safe. And, you know, in the long run, it's not going to help.
It's not. It
'Cause it never
doesn't.
does.
It never does. It's to me, it's just, you know, again, I've said this before as well. When it comes down to talking things, nobody just wants to be serious 100% of the time. That's
Right.
that no matter how informative, it will be boring. And if it's boring, then it makes your information pointless because no one's receiving it. But when things are very important in the moment, I feel like it is very much apropos to take heed to it, because if you blow it off, things get messy real quick, and you don't know. Sometimes you might not have the right cleaning equipment to clean it up. So,
yep. Like I'm just a lot of people that I, you know, talk to, you know, through DMs have expressed how they're just done with a lot of what's going on in the DC fandom specifically, and I completely understand why. You know, the colonization, you know, has occurred, and it's just nobody wants it. No, from my favorite quote or my favorite tagline from a movie poster: "Whoever wins, we lose." Like that's literally what it is. This is some Alien versus Predator shit. Like nobody wins. Nobody wins in this battle. Nobody that we want to win wins. Let me say it like that, because somebody's winning, but you know,
I don't even think at this point anybody's winning. If I'm being completely and utterly honest with you, not in
true,
any.
at the moment nobody is, but then you know, back then they were winning, you know, and got what they wanted. But you know, now it's like, well, no, that's honestly, that's classic colonization right there. Like you come in, you take control, you basically, you know, lay waste to the land, and you move on to the next one.
True.
Like it's on to the next one now. And you know, Marvel fans, watch your back. That's all I'm gonna say. Image fans, watch your back. Dark Horse fans, watch your back. Anime fans, you've always watched your back, but watch a little closer this time, because you know, they coming in droves. Oh my gosh, I promise next time it'll be a lot more true to form. Front Porch, we just had to get the message out this time to let people know, you know, we're not
And don't let
hiding, you know, we're not hiding this stuff.
And don't, as much as I love to say this, and I'm only hesitating because I don't want y'all to be engulfed with it if y'all don't want to. But if y'all do, because I know y'all do, I say go for it. And that going for it is, you know, if at any point y'all want to go, remember how that book fucking sucked and how certain people tried to sell it to us? Do it. Because all these folks are going to do is try to just block you and snitch to somebody that they think has power, and they don't. That's all.
Power. That's funny. You know, in a script I wrote, y'all know. Those who know will know. You know, but I did define what power is, and just watch some Conan the Barbarian. You'll learn what power is, y'all. Y'all be all right.
Crom, grant me my one request. Smite my enemies. And if you don't do that, then how will you? Like, how did, like, the context? He's praying to this God he doesn't believe in, but then he says that if his prayers aren't answered, then to hell with the God now, which by the metrics of what any sort of deity would be above hell, but he's saying to hell with them. So it's still
Yeah.
a measure of, that's the genius of the scene, by the way, that even though he's praying to this deity, he still doesn't believe in him enough to understand that telling him to go to hell would mean nothing. But
Right.
the subtle genius of Conan the Barbarian.
I think on the Front Porch we also might need to talk about some movies and stuff we love. We'll work the kinks out, because like that's, yeah, you got me wanting to watch that movie again. Y'all watch that, but you know, we're gonna have to wrap it up for this one, because I got some things about some things. Those who know will know. Those who don't,
Yes.
you know, just let your mind run wild real quick.
Yeah.
Ooh, I wish we could play some copyrighted music. Just pretend we are, you know. I'm not afraid of DMCA.
I am afraid of channel flags, though.
Yeah. I have to make the Front Porch its own channel.
But yeah, I genuinely, my closing remark for all of this is and always will be, I don't know what the hell that was, but will always be, fuck that book, fuck Sean O'Connell, fuck everybody who tried to say that book was anything other than horseshit and a very, 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 very wordy, which is ironic because it said nothing at all, bare bones assessment of what the Snyder fandom was, which all you could do was type in Snyder Cut and read at least 6 of the top tweets and get the same amount of information for free and get a better understanding of it. To the couple of people who I know say that they regret having their words of encouragement at the end of the book, I'm sorry. I'm sorry y'all fell for it. You know, charge it to the game, as a wise man would say.
Period.
And yeah, don't support Sean O'Connell because he's a piece of shit. And anyone who doesn't agree with that sentiment, no, let me be more clear and specific. Anyone who defends the book, please just toss them to the side. And if you see anybody who worked on these films go up for this book, please, in a very polite manner, educate them on what was said. They're either going to understand or just not mention it again, which is fine, because this book deserves to just disappear and have nothing to do with it, you know. So yeah,
like the fandom. Like the fandom. Yeah.
And furthermore,
too much shade.
And furthermore, if you ever want any more information on the book, just watch our video on it. Just go ahead and just watch our video on it, and you'll get everything you ever wanted about the book.
Oh, you know they've seen it. You know they have watched the clips, the same clips over and over in the group chats. You know, all in, you know, dancing, and you know, I'm not gonna do the Suge Knight quote because I think it's about to do a massive storm over here. But y'all know. Yeah.
Long story short, Sean said this.
We're actually here to do what we do best. Scam.
But he's not as cool as Top Cat, so that might have been an insult to Top Cat.
He'll never be. Yeah, he was more like a old dude who would always put Top Cat in jail? Whatever that dude was. Animal control? I don't know. Y'all know.
Something like that. Hating that dude. Link to the video. Aaron, do you think you can grab the link real quick? We can take 6 to 8 seconds and grab that. Oh, not seconds, minutes. Well, however long, a minute and a half, whatever. Do you think you can plug it into our description as well?
Dude, I think I can.
Hold on. I might beat you to it.
So there is a link right there in the chat.
Okay, you got it. Never mind. I don't need you to do it. But I will also say this. Hold on. Make sure Yeah, and we will after the stream put the link in the chat as well. But all I'll say is this: if y'all got any more questions about this book or Sean's character, just tweet at Ray. Peace, everybody.